I'm using a number of Hunt wheels on my Giant and Liv bicycles and came across a situation about the hub on the Hunt wheels that concerns the bicycle frames and how these Hunt wheels fit into any brand, any bicycle. So this distance here from outside of spacer to outside of spacer is the nominal axle length, not the actual one, because the actual axle length goes through a little bit of frame on both sides. So this is, on this particular wheel, is 142 millimeters exactly. I could lock this measurement in, and yes, there are digital instruments, but they are usually shorter than this, and they don't span this distance. So that's 14 centimeters there and 2 millimeters. 142 millimeters, just about spot on. Now that's very fine. That's exactly the design frame width from the axle spar here to the other side. What happens with the Hunt wheels is this. You can see this flat spot in this spacer at the the cassette side, and you can see another flat spot there on this brake side. This is where this brake rotor actually fits here, that I took it off so I can take this measurement and shoot this video. So you see, when I rotate one side, of course the other side rotates with it, as it should. But what happens is that these are threaded, so I can rotate one side without the other side rotating. If that happens, say, let me rotate this one. How do I do this? Say that mark is at the 12 o'clock position and this one is facing me here at the 3 o'clock position. It's possible to rotate this a full turn or less, or any amount. If you rotate it a full turn, that's going to make this one 0.4 millimeters longer in that direction. You may not notice that 0.4 millimeters, but if you rotate it 2 full turns, you might notice 0.8 millimeters. Or if you rotate it 3 times, you might notice 1.2 millimeters of looseness here in the system. Also, the axle that originally fits in a way that the end of the axle is flush here with this threaded surface there. That axle is going to be appearing shorter and shorter, something like there. The axle end is not going to come out all the way there. I hope this makes sense. Let me just freehand it. That the axle's end should come out flush with that threaded part of the frame, and if it's not, it's 1 to 3 millimeters further in. Not ideal. The axle obviously must have full thread engagement, and if you make the spacer to spacer assembly longer inadvertently by spinning one side and not noticing it, then this is going to push the frame there, widen the frame. And how you can tell that, one way to tell that it has happened is if your axle doesn't reach all the way to the other side when it's fully tightened. Okay, so when it is tightened, the spacer to spacer distance must be 142 millimeters, and in that case the axle's end comes flush with this threaded surface. That's how it should look like. So pay attention to these spacers, and they simply just counter rotate and they finger tighten. Of course you can put a wrench on it, that's what the flat spots are for. So pay attention